but we both have self-defeating thoughts. We both have mental hardships and obstacles that we break through. I have fear-based thinking that comes at me. We're both huge disciples of Ed Milet and Rob Dial and mindset work and protecting what goes into here, because whatever you put in, it weaves itself into your internal narrative. And my self-talk is what I pay attention to most.
Thank you so much for joining us on the Evolve Your Brand podcast. I am your host, Oli Emerkes, and I want to give a huge shout out to our wonderful studio, Icon Industries, that owns and produces our wonderful podcast. We are so lucky to have Shane Mitchell, Stephen Porter, all the wonderful people at Icon. We couldn't do it without you. And Stephen, I know I'm going to say something jacked up that you're going to put on social media that I won't want to. I already filled in our amazing freaking guest, Ryan Lipsey, Haylie Collier from Tycor Title. Welcome on the Evolve Your Brand podcast.
What is up,
Thank
Oli?
you so much. We are so excited to be here.
Do
I
your
know,
fist
fist
bump.
bumps. I don't want to knock over the mics again.
It's nice. And
I stole that from you guys.
I
stole that
feel
from you.
right at home.
Do you?
Oh my God, it's so comfy in here. And it's just the energy, the shirt, the shoes, the socks I'm noticing. This is awesome.
Do you like how he just called us out though for our little fist bump that we do every video we do?
The host did his homework a little bit.
And it's not like we don't see each other before we do the video and ask each other, hey, what's up? How are you?
That's a real lead in, you know? I mean, I'm always excited to see it.
You know
Every
what the
time.
best part is? If I didn't know any better, I would say you're together because you have that dynamic. It's awesome.
Oh my
I
gosh.
love your dynamic.
Well, it's easy. I think when you work with somebody for 6 years, you slowly become best friends. And it was, and
truth.
it's been a great work relationship. And he's now not only my boss, my mentor, my friend, one of my best friends, somebody I go to for all sorts of guidance where I'm like, should I be telling my boss this? Well, I guess.
Yeah, the normal roles and kind of descriptions of roles in our relationship have gone out the window just because we mentor each other now. I don't know who's leading who around here, but we definitely push each other, and both are competitive individuals, but both, I always came up with bring your whole self to work, right? So if you're having a shit day, we're going to talk about it. If you're having an awesome day, we're going to talk about that too. But it doesn't mean you have to leave what you're going through at the front door when you leave the house. Bring that to work. We'll deal with it. And we address the human, not just the employee, right? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how we've grown so close. And it's wonderful to be able to work with people. We're talking off camera, people that you care about, trust, implicitly trust. There's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
So
I will say, when we first started, I believe Ryan looked at me and said, "We're never going to be a team. It's always going to be Ryan Lipsey." And I was like, "Oh,
yeah.
Okay."
Well, I've done growing. It's been 6 years. I'm committed to personal growth, and we've definitely grown through that small-minded mentality.
Well, there was some burns in the back behind that, so I totally took with full acceptance of that.
I just still had the knife halfway in my back from my previous team, but I had plenty to do with that too. So I own it.
Ryan, that's badass, bro. That's awesome. You have that type of relationship. We need more of that. Holy smokes.
Yeah, it's been a very amazing journey, and we have so much more further to go, like a whole lifetime more.
Would you mind if I give you a huge compliment? Like, who you are on social media is exactly who you are in person. Like, congrats. Good for you guys.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I think authenticity is important,
That's exactly it.
I can't remember who I was last Tuesday, so when I put masks up, I have to, who am I in this group? Or who was I with this guy last time we interacted? And I put the kibosh on all that about 10 years ago and just decided to be me. And it's really helped out because I can't remember all my stupid stories or 6 generations of lies or versions of myself. So I just get to be me today.
I mean, I don't remember what I wore yesterday unless I see a picture. So it's just better to be ourselves. And I think going into this world of social media and highlight reels, and there's so much comparison and so much else going on where you just have to be yourself and be happy with who you are, and just freaking dig into it.
Well, authenticity invites authenticity. Vulnerability invites vulnerability. So when you lead with that and people sense that, then when they're around you, they feel your energy and they know it's real, then they feel free to be real too.
Oh yeah.
Right? I mean, just look
We
at
already
you.
were talking about feet finders earlier, so we just met.
I know, right?
We're not gonna, you don't get to know about that. Sorry.
Just brainstorming, just feet storming.
I know, just little. Hey, all I'm
Dipping the toe
going
in
to
the
say
water,
about
you know?
that is Haylie does apparently have feet worthy, but we'll leave that alone. That's a different.
That's when we part to it. That's when we part to
different
it.
podcast.
Yeah.
Different
That's a feet podcast, which will be. Let us know if you want the feet podcast.
Coming soon.
Haylie, what do you enjoy about Ryan every single day?
Oh man.
Oh
Put me
yeah.
on the spot with this question. There's so much. I do. The one thing I enjoy about Ryan, I will say, is our incredible friendship we have. Yeah, I would say I don't have to come into work and be like, oh God, I get to work with my boss every day. Like, I'm genuinely excited when I get to go in and like we have an office day and I'm like, oh cool, I get to work with Ryan today. So, and I get to do that every day.
Give me a story that helps capture that.
Oh gosh, so many. Well, I think, we've really molded into something different. We're not just title insurance people. We've taken what we've been able to do together and build other businesses off of it. And I think that goes to show where we came from something so small to where we're going and we've been able to grow. And I think that's just because of who we are as people. We've been able to do that together.
You've been able to do it together. Isn't that incredible?
Well, you go so much further together, right?
Right.
And so that's what it's about.
I love that. Ryan, what is it about Haylie that you're just blown away by?
Man, her energy, her drive drives me. When we sat in a Starbucks over 5 years ago, almost 6, and we were, thinking about teaming up, and I just knew that she had the fire, and that lights my fire and keeps me going. And also just the implicit trust. We did COVID together. Our team switched to everyday Zoom huddles. Just the whole concept of bring your whole self to work day and talk about the things you're struggling with, whether it's depression, anxiety, fear, whatever flavor of not feeling good enough, which we all have, right? And leave the mask at home. I want raw, I want real, because guess what? I'm going to be raw and I'm going to be real. And in certain aspects of my life, I never advanced past 8 years old and mentality-wise, maturity-wise. And we all have to be okay with that culture, that setting. And her buy-in on that and her loyalty as well. It's just, it's inspiring.
Make me cry.
And we do. We have a genuine, brotherly, sisterly relationship where we have each other's back without question. She's got my 6. And that, I could say that on one hand, how many people I can say that about.
I'm jealous.
Well, you just haven't found it yet. Or you have, but I'm sure you have yours.
It's rare.
It really is.
It's rare. I'm sorry. It's rare.
No, and
Fortunate.
I was going to say, I think we're so grateful for that and so fortunate for that I popped my head in every time I saw it, because I was working on the title units. And so every time I would see him on the phone or struggle, I'm like, hey, you're busy. You need help. I want to help you. And like you said, we sat at a Starbucks and I think he was kind of scratching his head a little bit of like, I don't know about this. And then I continued to be persistent and follow up. And I think that's where he was talking about the fire, because I was like, no, this is what I want to do. So it's either we do it together or I wouldn't know who else I would do.
There was nothing after that.
That's it.
Well, and it's like any relationship, you work at it, and I encourage honesty and like, look, man, if I'm screwing up, you got to call me out. And if you're screwing up, I'm going to call you out. And I invite, it's a round table on our team. We have Katie, our mission control, our operations manager, and she calls us both out and we call her. And it's just like no holds barred, because I want clarity over comfort every time. And if that means, I have no ego left to like hurt, but let's put our feelings aside and be able to be real with each other. And I think that you can attribute a lot of our relationship to the fact that she knows she doesn't have to fake the funk with me at all. She's accepted. There's no judgment. If there's a challenge, we don't have problems. We have challenges. We work through it,
It's I'm fucking blown away at how real both of you are. It's awesome. It's freaking awesome. Those are my kind of people. I'm like, boom, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do some fun 60-second rapid fire. Okay? I'm going to just rotate. We'll start with the lady first. Right. Haylie, favorite Mexican food restaurant in San Diego, and what do you get?
Oh my gosh, you guys are probably, I'm a native San Diegan, and you guys are probably going to hate me for saying this.
Don't say Los Panchos.
I was going to say Roberto's.
Roberto's
carne asada fries.
Okay.
Or Estrada's. If you're in Estrada, have you guys had Estrada's?
Is that OB?
No. So Estrada's was like where I grew up in Santee, went to high school out there. They had 2 Estrada's. Mm-hmm. Okay. And every day after school, I'm surprised I'm not a lot larger because we had California burritos almost every single day. So I'm a carne asada fry California burrito person.
Get it. Like those are San Diego staples.
Remember when they were like $5?
Oh my God.
And now they're like 13. Yeah, I'm like,
I thought I saw a Big Mac meal. Okay, my kid works at McDonald's, freaking awesome. But I think it was like a Happy Meal was like $12, $13.
Whoa. Well, did you
I don't ever get fast food, but when I
didn't know cheeseburgers went through inflation too, man. If it inflates, it should get bigger.
Did you guys see the whole article of how like McDonald's is in a bunch of shit right now because they have a $1 menu that doesn't have anything that's $1 on it?
Well, what's that? It's a $4 menu now.
Yeah.
It's a $1 menu. You know what's funny? You did a great content right there. I'm going to do the next video I'm going to do is comparing the real estate market home prices to the cost of food.
Oh my God.
You know what? No one complains when a Big Mac doubles in price.
Oh my God.
I mean, Costco's got it right though, right? They got the $1.50 hot dog with a drink and that is not changing. Yeah. So they got it right.
Costco. Don't get me started. You don't want to see my Costco bill. We're completely off
topic.
Already?
Now you have to go with your Mexican food.
This is like, it was amazing. Dogs or cats, Ryan?
Definitely dogs.
Okay.
I've had both. I had a Manx cat in college. His name was Al Pacino. Awesome cat. Yeah. And he was there for me when it's a relationship went south. So R.I.P. Al. But I have 2 dogs and we've had a ton of rescues. And the house to me isn't alive until there's a dog in it. Yeah. It's kind of like you're not home until you light a candle. You don't have a home until there's a dog in it. To me.
Fire. Yeah. That's definitely a short. I just want you to know.
Katie, our poor director of operations, she'd be rolling over right now. She'd be like, "Oh, she's a cat. She has 3 cats. She's a cat woman.
She likes dogs, but she loves cats.
She loves her cats.
And we love, this is a controversy. You brought up the Evolve Your Brand controversy. I have nothing against cats, folks. I love cat people and I love cats. Sort of.
Yeah. I think they're kind of always planning on how they're going to kill you. Like, I feel like there's always some kind of like underlining meaning with cats. Like, they look at you and they're like, I'm just plotting. I can F this up for you.
I didn't have to tag you on the reel that was dropped. Okay, we're going to move on from that.
Yeah, skip this topic.
Haylie,
like this.
Favorite beach in San Diego?
I live in Ocean Beach. So I know all the little secret beaches on Sunset Cliffs and definitely my favorite beach.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Ocean Beach is that's a different vibe.
Mm-hmm. It sure is. I've lived there for about 10 years and it sure is.
It's funky to say that's the starting point.
That's why I said I like the beaches down on Sunset Cliffs more than the main OB beach.
The low tide. She can tell you where all the caves are.
Okay. All right. You're the go-to expert. Folks, not only does she do what she does, she's got all the scoop on OB.
Well, I'll tell you, when I wasn't a fan, don't shoot, of OB in Point Loma, really. I didn't go in because the egress is kind of like La Jolla to me. I'm a San Diego native too. But having been down there and knowing her and her constantly cheerleading for OB and Point Loma and Sunset Cliffs, I think it's one of the best coastlines in Southern California. It really is.
Oh, okay. I'm up for the challenge.
Yeah.
Let's go check that out.
OB challenge,
She
baby.
sold you.
And OB Noodle is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I mean, you got to take your dog down to Sunset Cliffs Park and walk that, but it's beautiful.
Okay. You just set me up. You want me to, can I give her a second question?
Please.
Okay. Right. What's the thing to do in OB since you close Ryan on it? What are we?
Oh, you have to check out the cliffs. You have to walk down there, see them. It's gorgeous. To Ryan's point, it's one of the best coastlines. It's, very similar to the Encinitas Bluffs up there kind of thing. But, I mean, it has its own national park. So it's kind of its own thing.
It's all about community and vibe.
Oh, I walked up there with my wife from Point Loma Nazarene University area. And the cliffs and the trails there, solid.
Oh, are you a hiker?
Well, a little bit.
Little bit?
Yeah,
Okay,
I went
you
to
dabble?
Zion and Bryce and, Sequoia and Kings Canyon. And
Okay. Ryan, what is you're a San Diego native.
Yeah.
What do you love about San Diego?
I love this. I love our community. I love the laid back style. I love that people care about athleticism, but also having a good life, not just grinding out for the paycheck, for some number in a bank account or some zip code. It's not all about the materialistic stuff. I feel like there's a lot of that. It's Southern California, but the obvious comparison is LA, right? And it's
right.
One of the things I love most about San Diego is we're not LA. You find genuine individuals, and I love the Padres' miserable existence and tragic storyline every year. But I love my Padres. The people make San Diego what it is. That's what I love about our city.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. Everyone talks about people. I love the people in San Diego. Yeah. It's incredible.
You get a lot of real folks here, and from the east part of the county, it's real out there. And it gets really international up the I-5 corridor and as you approach the coast. But people settle right in and become San Diegans pretty quickly.
Yeah.
We live in a place that people spend or save their entire year to go on vacation for,
Yeah.
It's pretty wild to think that. And I know there's nothing better for me when I'm flying back into San Diego and we're flying into the airport and you see the bridge and you're going through downtown. I'm like, I'm home. I'm home. It doesn't matter where I've been. I could have been in the beaches in Mexico or in Europe, even he was in Europe or Alaska, and coming home, you're still like, I'm coming home. Not, I have to go home.
That's, I think, one of the smartest things I've ever heard anyone say. You never get disappointed when you're flying back to San Diego.
No.
Truth.
No.
That's your you dropped
the mic moment.
At San Diego, whoever owns that, you got to steal that from Haylie. Right there. You're never disappointed flying back to San Diego. That's our motto now.
Yeah. How can you be? You're coming in and you're like, I'm home.
Seriously.
This is it.
Yeah. That flight into our city is incredible.
Mm-hmm. It's, I guess, one of the hardest airports to land into.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just because all the high rises and stuff. Mm-hmm.
Coming off Baker's Hill right there, it's a steep approach. And no, you're right, man. We get to come home to paradise and live here. And I think so. You generally have a pretty stoked disposition for people in San Diego.
Yeah.
And I went to UC Davis. I lived in Santa Barbara. I've been to the Bahamas, all over the Caribbean, all over Mexico, and getting to know Europe a little bit. But there's no way I would leave San Diego, and it'll always be my home.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing how many advocates there are for San Diego, because no matter what, it's one of those cities where there was a lot of mass exodus during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
People left.
Oh, and they want back in now.
Oh, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's so funny that you say that.
The prices are up.
Sorry.
Talk about a rude awakening when you try to come back.
It's unfortunate, and I get the move. I get the space. I get with COVID, and a lot of people were under the gun with pressure decisions, but I'm really stoked that I stuck around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What is the silliest thing that Ryan does?
Oh, God. Well, he mentioned his 8-year-old humor.
Oh, does he have 8 humor? You and I are going to get a fucking get along.
He has a pretty immature sense of humor at times. I will say at times. And sometimes I just start cracking up and I'm like, did you really just say that? What? And he's like, sorry, I didn't mature past 8. And I'm like, I got it.
But somehow I have dad jokes up the wazoo. Okay.
Haylie, look at how red he is.
It's hot out there. Okay.
What's the silliest thing Haylie does? Ryan?
Oh, she deals with my humor. No, she's pretty damn funny. And she's, I don't know, the silliest thing. She is a candy freak. Okay. So you cannot see this girl without sour gummies or some Twix, which I think is your favorite chocolate-based one. If there's candy, Haylie's all about it. And it's just the candy wrappers and then the sugar high. And then, we're just pretty real with each other, so we're laughing a lot.
I have no discipline when it comes to sugar and sweets.
Really?
None at all.
Your favorite holiday is coming up.
Oh, and it's Ryan's birthday month too.
When's your birthday?
10/10 Libra Dragon.
Oh,
baby.
we're gonna Hey Siri, put 10/10. Ryan Lipsey's birthday. Get it done, folks. Don't wait if it's quick. I just did that on camera. Yes, I did.
Yeah, my parents actually, as a kid, had to limit a lot of my candy intake after Halloween. They were like, you get like 10 pieces and then we're taking the bag. And now as an adult, I know what they did with that bag.
I could kick Ryan off the couch. You could lay down. We could talk about your candy disposition. But that would be a different podcast for that.
Feet and candy podcast. Okay, coming soon.
So I know I dropped what you do for a living. We're not going to talk about title insurance, but I do want to talk about like what makes you both different. We had Hernan, one of Business Bros. We had Business Bros on, Hernan says. Yeah. And he said when he had you on, when he had Ryan on the podcast, Ryan talked about what makes him different. It's not about title. It's about how he believes in people and the commitment that he has towards relationships and people. Would you mind, like Ryan, why don't you talk about that? Like, how did you decide that you were going to be different in your space?
Well, I think title is, title is cut and dry and very dry, heavy on the dry.
How dry?
So dry. I probably do. But I think that we really, as a core culture and a core thing on our team, core value is we help realtors, commercial brokers, loan officers, community bank, anybody in the real estate space, and anybody really that we encounter, we're willing to help them get where they're going and supply them with the arsenal, supply them with the strategy, supply them with the accountability. And it's not about us, right? We are a service provider. At the end of the day, we're a commodity. So where do we fit into your business to help you get and achieve what you aspire to do, whether it's that vacation or finally be financially stable for 6 months at a time or know where your next deal's coming from? Mm-hmm. Those are important things, because if not, you're living in constant anxiety. You're never at peace, and there's no balance no shot at balance if you're not at peace. So what we do is show them what's moving the needle for people that we're currently, what's moving the needle for us. And we do all the things that we talk about. And when we help others figure out what's right for them to do to get more revenue in the door. Because at the end of the day, we're trading time for what we do. Right. And that means we got to get paid for it. And we make it fun, but we make it real, because the metrics, the things we were talking about, you can do the branding, and it's important. We have to have a digital footprint. We have to be findable. They can't go to Safeway and find us on the shelf. They got to find us on the internet when they're Googling what their need is. And then you got to do the follow-up work to harvest, basically, and reap the harvest of the seeds that you planted. So I that's a long-winded way of getting around to, if I were to put it into a nutshell, we're out of ourselves and into our audience, into the avatar. What are their fears? What are their hopes? What are their needs? And if we can address those and move the needle in helping them advance towards that, then we've done our job. And we got to come along for the ride, because we don't win until you win. We don't win until the agent wins. We don't get paid until we close, right? And so if we can help in all other aspects, then implied is the fact that we get to like each other, work together, and trust one another.
Mm-hmm.
Add to that, please.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think we show up every day and we're happy to be here, and we want to help as many people get to where they're going. And to Ryan's point, we're in real estate. It's a little unstable at times. It's a little shaky. We're like on a roller coaster. We're up, we're down. We get fired. We get a $3 million deal. We get, have an issue on a closing here. So it's very emotionally unstable at times. And we want to help our clients and help people really become knowing their systems, having their business ratcheted down. And we always make the joke, like, we're not just title people. Like, you can go get title anywhere. Like Ryan said, you can get title insurance wherever you need to. But when you really need help and you need support and you need to have a strategic business partner on your team, that's where we step in. And we really enjoy helping. Like, our biggest fulfillment, we talk about this all the time, is like when I get a call from an agent that's like, or when he gets a call and it's like, hey, by what you guys told me to do in my systems and I did the things, I got a deal out of it. Like, thank you so much. We've sat with people before that have been like, no, like, I'm just going to go get a job. Like, I can't do this real estate thing. And we pump them up, we give them the tools, and now they've been crushing it in real estate. And we're like, yes.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. She dropped a freaking bomb. Ryan, talk about this. How hard... Okay, I'm not in real estate. Okay, if I wasn't in real estate, I'm watching this show. How hard is it to be successful in real estate?
It's simple, but not easy. So it can be difficult, and you have to definitely be testing the boundaries of your comfort zone. You live on the boundaries of your comfort zone in the sense that we have a fear-based thinking, right? And fear-based thinking, and so many times in so many approaches to doing this type of thing, to getting on the horn and telling our story, to getting our solution out to the audience. There's only so many conduits to get the solution to your audience. And that strikes fear in the hearts of a lot of salespeople in general, realtors for sure. I would say consistency over time, consistent efforts yield consistent results. So you've got to commit to the long term. And I'd rather show up and do a little bit every day than try to slam 15 hours in on Saturday, and then you build up momentum. And once you got the big mo, don't let it go. I mean, and when you get the mo, don't let it go. And I think that sales is difficult in general. Being in real estate today is super hard. I mean, you've got to be committed. You've got to show up. You've got to be focused, and you've got to be willing to take a little on the chin and show up again tomorrow, and get gritty right now. And so it's good because a lot of people are fleeing the industry. We see a lot of attrition. Thank you, and fewer salespeople in the realm of real estate, mortgage, title, escrow, etc. And so that yields more opportunities. And with change comes opportunity. And getting comfortable with change is difficult. I'm a 46-year-old man and I still fear change. But with every change comes opportunity. And I have to, with the growth mindset, you view change as an opportunity now instead of as a threat.
Yeah. Ryan, you know what's great about you is that you're so comfortable being vulnerable, and I know how much effort it takes to get to that point. So kudos to you, man.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's a lifestyle, right? It's a daily practice. Trust me.
Well, and just to kind of like add on to what Ryan's saying too, we're so caught up in instant gratification, right? Like, it's like, well, I made 5 calls. Why didn't I get a deal? Or why did I sent postcards? I didn't get anything. Like, why isn't this working? And it's so much more about the long-term game and building the relationships. Like we were talking earlier, people make it so transactional. Like, we talk with people all the time and they're like, or, agents, and they're like, oh, I haven't called my buyers in 6 months. And I put them in, and it's like, that's a relationship. You help your first time home buyers get into a property and you haven't followed up or called. Like, it's a relationship business. It is not transactional. And I think so many people are just chasing the next commission check or chasing their next deal. And they're not realizing that it's so much more than that. And it's so much more of a long-term game. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
And the materials and the media and the prospecting, all of that is doable. But you asked, how hard is it to be a realtor?
Yeah.
And it's hard in this sense. It requires you getting out of yourself. It requires suppression of the ego, because I'm my favorite subject. My name is my favorite word in the English language, but it's not about me. And so many people, the biggest barrier is I have to get out of my needs and my need for commission and my need to feed my family and my need for status and for glory and for the spotlight to be on me. I have to get away with all that and get into the needs of the customer. Because if I don't deliver content that's based on their needs, or if I don't deliver a solution that's about them and be audience and customer centric instead of Ryan centric, I am no longer necessary for long, right? And I think that's the biggest hard into it, is get out of ourselves. The biggest stumbling block we see in salespeople when we do coaching with all types of salespeople and businesses, and the biggest stumbling block is they're stuck on self. And we have to get out of that.
It's so hard. It's so hard. And just being in the real estate industry myself, it's like, you have to stop yourself and look in the mirror and not, I literally talk out loud. I'm like, dude, it doesn't matter. If you put negative shit out there, negative shit is going to happen. You got to check yourself. And this has been the hardest year I've had in real estate, but I'm also grateful. Yeah. Seriously. I'm like, man, I didn't go through 2008. I'm grateful I'm going through 2023.
Exactly.
Well, and the harder times make us better during the good times, right? Like, if we can stick it through and make it through the hard times, when it's 20 times again, we're going to be up here versus down here. So that's, I think, what's important.
Well, and one of a shared practice that we have separately, and in the morning, first thing morning routine is getting grateful. That's a big word you just said. Because if I can look at what I have and currently and want the things I have a better chance of having the things I want. right? If I can start with gratitude for what's already in my life and what's good, that frequency you're operating at is pretty awesome. And the universe is paying attention. So it drops more things on that frequency. But if I'm walking around like, I'm going to make calls today, go meet that guy at the house, and that low energy, right? The universe is going to deliver things on that same frequency. You're attracting that frequency. So just get pumped about, hey, I got food in the fridge. I got a roof over my head. I'm awake. Like, let's go.
Fuck, I love you guys. It's the get to mentality versus have to mentality.
Yeah, exactly.
And we definitely practice that. You know, we talk about it a lot. It's like, you know, I'm not fist pumping to wake up first thing and go to the gym, but I get to go to the gym. I get to wake up, put my feet on the ground, put on gym clothes, and like, yeah, I might have like Vioris on, and I'm like, these are $100 freaking leggings. Like, I get to wear these leggings to go to the gym and work out, you know? And so many people take little things like that for granted. And I think just having that gratitude, and Ryan really instilled it during COVID. He was like, move your bodies. Like, first thing, get up, move your bodies. Like, we're not going to sit behind our computers all damn day. Like, get up, go outside, go get some sun on you. And yeah, so that's really where we shifted our mindset a lot, was during that time.
He's a heck of a leader, isn't he?
Oh, like, I am so grateful. That's one of my biggest things I'm grateful for, is having a leader like that. Because not a lot of people I mean, when did I start working? 24 with you? 25-ish? And at 25, like, you know, even right before I met him, I was doing some stupid shit, you know? It was like the cycle.
You stop?
Yeah.
I'm still doing them. I'm like, damn it. I don't want to do stupid shit.
Doing stuff, but not as frequently, I guess, I would say. Like,
not as stupid.
Not as stupid and not as frequently. But, you know, I got caught into a cycle of like, I would wake up, I would go to work, wake up, do the same shit, go out, have a big night. And I was able to wake up and do that again. And thankfully I got blessed with somebody who was like, hey, there's so much more than that. Like, you need to get your mind right in the mornings, like shake out the cobwebs. Like, you maybe don't need to be hungover every day. Like, it's okay not to.
I've never wanted to hang out with title people so much in my life. I'm like, I'm no offense, but you have such a boring, like, I feel bad for you guys, but you make it fun.
Oh, well, we're just us.
Well, and that's why we don't talk about title. Like, when we don't talk about title because it's boring. We want to talk about you, how we can help you with your stuff. And that will help satisfy our needs.
Ryan, has it been good for the real estate industry? I mean, so there's a lot of real estate podcasts and stuff, people, but I personally think that real estate professionals are some of the best entrepreneurs that there are. And do you think it's a good thing for some of the people that have left real estate? Is that good for our industry?
Well, you know, I mean, the natural ebbs and flows that the marketplace creates is just that, natural, right? It's for those that found other opportunities because this one ceased to be a good opportunity for them, and the natural attrition that takes place. I believe that we create our own market. I believe that we create our own luck, that we create our own opportunity based on mindset, based on action. And so many people fail to make the leap from theory to implementation. Right. And it's a huge separator. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. People that was falling from the sky, like 20, 21, part of 22, we could all throw a rock and hit 3 deals, you know, and now it's constrained a little bit, a lot. Right. And so there's just fewer and fewer opportunities out there. So all in all, I think it's separating the wheat from the chaff. I think it's separating the systematic approach and the professional who this is their practice versus the part-timer or the person that was touring real estate and visiting, but not really here to make it a career. Does that make sense?
The person that was like, oh, I see these guys, they got Mercedes, they make good money. I'm going to get into real estate. And then they get into real estate and they don't realize how hard it actually is. And, you know, we make the joke all the time. People think you get your real estate license and you get $100,000 commission check in a Mercedes, but that's just not how it works.
I was a schmuck when I got started in real estate. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
No way.
I think everyone was, though, right? Like,
seriously.
I mean, you're drowned. There's so much information out there, and it's like you get what's it called? Infobesity. Yeah. We get just fluttered, and it's especially when you get your license or get into this industry. There's so many courses and trainings and things you can do, and this. But what's the point of going all of that if you're not going to implement it and actually?
Well, that's why we talk about mindset. because we can't connect on title, and I don't know how to look at loans and underwrite a loan, but we both have self-defeating thoughts. We both have mental hardships and obstacles that we break through. I have fear-based thinking that comes at me first thing in the morning. I got to change that with the gratitude practice and with meditation and with reading books and listening to podcasts. We're both huge disciples of Ed Milet and Rob Dial and mindset work, and protecting what goes into here, because whatever you put in, it weaves itself into your internal narrative. And my self-talk is what I pay attention to most, regardless of how much Below Deck or Housewives or, Bachelorette or Vanderpump Rules I watch. That's all weaving itself into the way I talk to myself. And that's what I listen to, and what we listen to most is what we tell ourselves inside of here. So you got to protect that domain, and we can all connect on that front, right? We've all been fearful of going into the big meeting. We've all been fearful of making the 20 calls. And if we can speak to that and shine a bright light on the solution for people out there, I think that we're really helping at that point, because now we're connecting on a human level. And that's why the masks and the facades and the bullshit is gone, because who needs that, right? I'm not going to send my representative out. I'm just going to be me, because I can't remember which representative I sent a week from now, right? So who was I around this guy? Yeah, who wants to live that way?
It sounds like a lot changed for both of you, like during that period of time. And I agree with you. Like I think I look at life differently since then.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of it, like, we have a huge hustle culture on our team. Like, we are grinders. We are like, let's go get it. Like, we talk about this all the time. We're like, what would we do if we were just like, didn't do what we do? Like, we would be so bored. Like, we love the hustle. We love going to work. Like, we love building relationships and being with people. And so I think a lot of that during COVID, the thing that switched was like, the hustle mindset doesn't mean being in the office at 7 a.m. and out at 10 o'clock. No, the hustle mindset means be 100% at what you're doing at that time. And then when you're with your family, be 100% with your family. If you're when I'm walking my dog, I'm 100% walking my dog, and I got my podcast on, I'm listening to what I need to do. And it's about being 100% in what you're doing at that time, because you can't be 10% working over here, 10% working here. Oh, and then when I'm with my family and I'm checking my phone and stuff, nobody wants to live like that anymore. And I feel like COVID during that time really shifted that mindset for us of like, when we're 100% working, we're 100% full focus there. When we're 100% with our family, we're with our family.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Katie, she's grateful to have the week off, and it's like, go be gone, go paint yourself green or run on the beach or whatever you're going to do, because I want that, I want you to, because you have to enjoy life. There's no second go round, right? This is it. This is all we get. And so go experience it.
Yeah. You guys are dropping so much, just nuggets that I think, when people realize how hard it is to make it in real estate, how hard people work. Sometimes I have to educate my home buyers on how hard their real estate agent works. And you don't see it, but everyone in real estate, the relationship-based ones, the ones that last, it's all based on relationships. In my opinion, from what I've seen, is that all the successful people that do the business are relationship-based. And that's why I'm kind of like I'm so enthusiastic that you operate the way you do. It's 100% people driven.
Yeah.
I think it has to be. And how many times do you hear from your first time home buyers or your buyers you're working with that like, oh, my agent's just going to make a bunch of money off me anyways. And it's like, you have to explain to them all the photography, all the getting the inspection and the painters and everything lined up. There's so much behind the scenes that people don't see. And I think, with different shows and different things that are out there, real estate kind of has this just facade around it. Yeah. But it's tough. It's meant for grinders. It's meant for people that want to work for entrepreneurs. Oh, yeah. I mean, how many people can go out there and create a deal out of nothing, out of thin air? There's not a lot of people that have that kind of mentality to go do that.
Yeah.
I would say, right now, the people don't see is the heartbreak when offer 17 doesn't happen for the person that really needs to get into a place because they're relocating or they've been PCS'd from another base to our base and they need a place. And that's what people are experiencing right now. So I would say it's a wonderful opportunity. We say it all the time. It's the highest paying hard work and the lowest paying easy work that you can do is real estate. If you're committed to the process, if you're willing to, it's contact sport. You got to make contacts. You got to get out of yourself. And if just like you said, I really like what you said about being in the present moment. It can be fearful to live in the present moment because you presently have to accept an evolving, changing landscape.
You talked about networking, and our audience is just getting introduced to both of you, and I hope you come back. Like, we'll make this like a quarterly thing. You talked about networking. You both network a ton. You're everywhere. How come? Like Randy, I'm sorry, Ryan, you, I know. I totally fucked that.
We can edit that out. That's the one
We're gonna cut that out. That's fucking, hey, you're cutting that shit out.
It's Ryan, okay, I was talking about my dad.
My dad.
That was a faux pas. Ryan, what I was oh my God, now I completely lost my track of thought right there.
No, we show up at a lot of events. We do a lot.
What I was going to say is,
people
Ryan,
are important.
You're at all these, you guys are all these events, and it's like you show up, and then it's a small community. So like you go to these events, you've been in the business forever. How come you still are out there and grinding? You were talking about making calls.
Yeah.
That's badass. How come?
Look, I'm committed to the process, and I would never stop the things that worked to get me to whatever status we're at. We're one of the top producing title teams in the nation, not on accident, right? I think that it's on purpose. And the purpose is to remain connected with the people that got us there, which is our customer. And the people matter, and doing the work matters. And the conversations we have, when we had somebody and it was their biggest deal they ever did, and I get to say, hey, we're confirmed on that deal. And I wanted to let you know. And they're pumped and I'm pumped. And then we go
crying, like, yeah.
Or like, hey guys, we need to try this real estate business plan thing, or else I got to go get a job. And then 3 months later, they have 4 closings that they never saw coming.
So you're both connecting at like such a personal level. You're getting entrenched in their life.
As much as they'll let us, because we have, success leaves clues, and we've had success. So we know some of the clues and we're learning so much more. But like we do everything we tell agents to do. We do it ourselves. We do videos and boost them. We make calls every single day. We do direct messaging. We do all the metrics we talk about because it works. And so I love the process and I love the people. So that's why I still show up at a high level. And, she holds me accountable. I hold her accountable, and we just go hard.
Well, just to add, like, as Ryan's little grasshopper over here, he showed me with his hand. It wasn't like, hey, you have to make calls, or hey, you have to do this. It wasn't like him telling me. He sat there right next to me and banged calls with me my first. We're still 6 years in, and he still bangs calls right next to me, and we do it together. And it's not just something where he's like, oh yeah, this works, like go do it and it'll pan out. It's like, no, he showed me with his hands, not his mouth. It was like, this is what we do, and we're going to do this together because this is how it works.
Haylie, let's talk about Ryan in front of his back.
Let's do it.
How rare is that in real estate to have a leader like that?
Oh my,
you pretend he's not even here.
It's so rare. We work with so many people. We work with people across the country and with our coaching business and do things. And that is so rare to find people that have hit success in numbers, whatever you want to say is success to you, but where he's at in his business that still do that kind of stuff, that, like you said, still get on the phone, that actually mentor and are there versus just being like, okay, I'm going to go over here now and I'm going to go out to lunch with my buddies or go do this. He's like, no, we do our meetings together. We make our calls together. We hold each other accountable still. And that is so rare to find in any industry. I wouldn't say in anything, because there's always that I'm the boss and you listen to what I say. And he's like, I'm your boss, but listen to what I say and I'm going to do it with you.
Haylie, I come from corporate America, and I'll share this. I was in it for like 10 years. It's not in real estate, it's worse. It's worse. It's way worse. There's not mentorship like everyone. We're in there's nothing wrong. Right. We're just in a very egocentric, it's all about.
Well, thank you. That's a wonderful compliment. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's
what's in it for me, right? That's most people's favorite station.
It's all good. It's all good. I think that there's a higher purpose to life than just what do I gain? And I had to go through, just like Ryan said. I think Haylie was on vacation and you just got vulnerable and you're like, hey, I went through a torment where I had to step up. I had to check myself. I'm like, that guy's really comfortable. I connected with him so easy because he's fucking real.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think I had enough bosses in my life, or enough leaders that would tell me, but I really believe you teach with these, you don't teach with this. And people it's like my children. I got 4 children. I'm blessed. They're healthy. And they will watch what I do and do what I do and not what I say. And it's the same with people. Yeah, show me where you spend your time, show me where you spend your money, and I'll show you what's important to you. Mm-hmm. And so I spend my time, and I said, when I hired her, I said, look, you're going to shadow me for 30 days, 90 days, whatever it is. And I can't tell you what we do here. I have to show you. And if you're around in 3 months, the job is yours. And that was 6 years ago.
I love that.
And I delight in what we do. I delight in helping people, but it is a grind. It is tough. You do get fired 1 minute, hired the next minute, fired again the next minute. And that's just part of the deal, right? That's just part. And it's easier together. I can tell you that to have somebody to do that with is awesome.
Mm-hmm. You get hired, fired, and you have to smile. Yes, thank you so much. All right, can I have more, please?
Yes, please, man. Have another. Thank you.
Yes.
All within like 5 minutes.
The roller coaster ride we go through.
Yes.
Fun.
Yeah.
Branding.
All right.
And marketing.
Yes.
Okay.
You know a little.
I've heard. I've read.
Have you
A little bit. I feel like there's so much with marketing. I feel like every day though, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much more we're not
There's
doing.
a new social media site. There's a new this and new that.
You've consistently done your weekly updates. When did that start? Like, kind of, how come? How come you decided to go down the path of, hey, we're going to record video and this is what we're going to do? Who wants to take it?
Because you.
Well, I mean, in 2019, I turned to Haylie because I read Crushing It by Gary Vaynerchuk. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody in our space was doing it. And when I got in the business in 2001, you go in office to office to office with like a stack of flyers like this, and you filled all the mailboxes. Back then, it was Macmillan's and Prudential's, and on 3rd Avenue in Chula Vista, every other like storefront was a mortgage or a real estate or both. Okay. And so you would exhaust like thousands and thousands of flyers. Well, the new routing is social media. And this was, I thought, probably 8-10 years ago, I thought this was the case, and the leverage involved. So I said, look, I'm not particularly good on camera, and I don't know how this is going to turn out, but we're doing video, and we're going to boost them, and we're going to do all the things. And it's really allowed people to get an introspective view as to who we are, and it allows us to have the leverage of whatever time it takes, which is just minutes or hours, to do the video, produce it, and get it online, versus hundreds of man hours to complete and get in top of mind with all those people that it would take in person. Mm-hmm. So to me, it's a no-brainer leverage wise. And it turns out we're decent at it, and we, as long as you come from, and it's right there, I give Gary Vee all the credit on this one, is getting out of self and into the customer and doing content on the backs of their hopes, their desires, and what they don't know. If you can educate them, if you can motivate them, if you can inspire them, then there's no selling involved. There's no selling necessary, right? Mm-hmm. So we love that part of it.
Yeah, I mean, he looked at me.
Hold on. Here's my question for you. I have a follow-up since he started it. Hold on, Haylie.
Follow-up question.
We're dealing
So
with
do you remember the day that he came to you and said, we're gonna look at it. Look at his fucking smile. Look at his evil smile. Ryan, that was classic. Yep. Remember that day?
That's exactly where you led me right into it.
Oh, yeah?
I was like, I will not forget the day. He looked at me and was like, hey, we're going to do like videos and like shoot lives and stuff. And I was like, what? And like, what are we doing? Yeah, we're going to do videos. We're going to talk this and we're going to just make it who we are. And we're just going to shoot it like it's alive and we're not going to edit. And I was like, well, what about my hair? And then I have to pick out outfits. And my mind started going. And he was like, no, we're just going to do it. We're just going to do it. And I was like, okay. And we really had to, like, to Ryan's point, you have to put the ego aside. When we're doing videos and you're doing podcasts, you have to put the ego aside because people know what you look like. They know what you sound like. And that's who you are. And that's what people resonate with. And they don't want you to be the perfect person driving the Porsche with that. Nobody connects on that. There's not a lot of connection there, but the connection is when we're authentic, when we're real, and people see that. And so now I think we're like 200-ish videos later, and now it's like he's like, hey, we're doing video, or like I'll be like, hey, we gotta do this video, and it's like, okay, let's go, like let's just do it.
Yeah. And I mean, I think even more than vulnerability and authenticity, people connect in their wounds, so not every day is sunny and bright on the Ryan Lipsey team. We got some shit days and we got some shit markets, and we're real about that too. Mm-hmm. And I think that there's plenty of people watching or listening and that have over the years that have said, I just appreciate the fact that you acknowledge that it's adversity, acknowledge the challenge, because this little challenge or piece of adversity is preparing us for the next one, So there's no way around it, under it, over it. You got to go through it. Otherwise, you're going to miss the lesson. And the one thing I've learned about the universe, or whatever you want to call it, is that you'll keep paying the tuition until you get the lesson. Meaning you'll have the pain, you'll fall down, get back up. But the key is just to take the lesson, man. Life is full of challenges. Just get the lesson so you don't have to at least repeat that challenge. Because there's another one coming down the pike. I promise you that.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan, that's spot on. And I was going to say, I learned something from you. Just, I always like to, you want to be the best at whatever it is that you do. How you do one thing is how you do everything. I genuinely did my, you got to do your homework. And so, because you were so vulnerable, and I have no problem. I mean, I get people, I'm like you, oh, we're recording right now. Can you tell me you're going to record? No, I don't. I want the spontaneous. Just be ready. I learned how to be vulnerable from you. I'm like, oh shit. Like, look at Ryan. He's like throwing it down, just like, hey, this is where I jacked up, and this is where I had to check myself. And that's the real.
That's where people connect though, right? Like that's where people connect.
I don't know why we hide it or sweep it under the rug. I mean, we all have our stuff, and nobody posts on Facebook, hey, third rehab, or like divorce court again, but we really go through those things. And when you're approachable and when you are real about those things, then I think people feel free to be that way around you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Oh, I think vulnerability is one of the best assets as a human being you could have, because that's how you connect. That's how you let people in. How you can't have guards and walls up, because then nobody's going to connect. Because in this world, when you're in your box and you're done, who's going to be at your funeral? And that's like one of the things I think about is I want to make such an impact in life that my funeral has a line around the block that people can't even get into the church or wherever it's at, And that's kind of how I think of it, because to Ryan's point, we don't get another shot at this. It's one and done.
One and done. And, it's, I just love your like entrepreneurship message about people. It's like, dude, we have such a huge role to play in the industry we're in, and we get to change people's trajectories, like legacy. That's how, especially in San Diego with these home prices.
Oh, man.
Fuck, if you become a homeowner, I'm like, let's celebrate that shit.
What are you saying about the people in the hood, or you can't be poor in San Diego because even the hood's $1 million.
Yeah, one of our clients we were talking to not too long ago was like, dude, there's not even a hood in San Diego anymore, because if you own a home and you're in Barrio's coming up, or you're in National City. I mean, we're San Diego. We called National City Nasty City, for years. And now it has the waterfront coming in. It's going to be like a whole nother downtown San Diego. And so it's like, there's no hood in San Diego anymore. No. Like, we both are from East County. We grew up in pretty like areas where it's not beautiful. It's not great. It's not like the SoCal lifestyle you think of. Yeah. And now it's like, shit, even if you own a home there, you're making it. You're making it.
You are. Heck, supply and demand.
Yeah.
It's funny how that concept works.
Yeah.
Holy cow. There's not a lot of supply right now, and there's a ton of demand. So.
Demand is pent up, but that'll be for different time and place. I have two final questions for you. What do you love about real estate, Haylie?
I think just kind of going on the theme, I love the people.
Yeah.
I love the people. And I've always been intrigued. Like, Ryan knows I can't drive through like La Jolla or places with like super nice houses, because I'm like swerving all over the road, because I love the architecture. I love the different styles. And I really love the people that this industry brings in, because it does bring in people that are entrepreneurs, that want to grow, that want the best in people, that want to help other people. And some of the best agents we work with are agents that are like, I got in this to help people, to change their lives, to help them build wealth in their generations, or be the first person in their family to own a home. I mean, so I really enjoy that about real estate.
Amazing. Ryan, what impact are you and Haylie going to leave the rest of this year? What's on the horizon for you two?
Wow. Well, we launched a coaching business, so we're going to help people in the real estate and the title and escrow space and beyond. We have a couple law firms we're working with and businesses in general. But again, people, right? If this is a people business, which I think we agree it is, that means it's a human business. That means I better acquaint myself with the human condition and the human process. And I think that's where the mindset things come in. I think that's where moving your body leads to endorphins, leads to dopamine, leads to me feeling better. I've never taken a problem on a jog or to the Peloton that I brought back with me. Right. And I think that's all speaks to routine, but also we can't have compassion if we can't understand our own dark sides. How can I understand your dark side? And how can I really empathize with that? I've got to get in touch with my human condition and be real with it, because that's where we start to get and really connect, you know? And so as much as people are open to that, that's where we go in our relationships in the real estate space. And we treat the whole human, because it's a people business. Yeah. So we can't just talk to you about your farm area or your circle prospecting or your social media content. We got to get to know the whole thing, you know, to understand it. Not that we're therapists, but even though sometimes it feels like we're, I'm sure you feel like a therapist too as a lender. But I think the biggest impact that we'll make before 2024 cracks open is just continuing to support our agents and our customers get to where they're going, whether it's a small just word of encouragement or a whole new strategy that we're laying out for them for video or whatever. We just accommodate their needs and help them get where they're going. We'll continue to support our people.
Congratulations on the coaching. I think that's such a great ancillary business for both of you, because I see it.
Oh.
Like it's so,
Thank you.
It's a no-brainer. I'm a Hermosi guy. That's a no-brainer.
Thank you. Well, I remember when we pretty much do that all day, right? And
seriously.
That's where I know that Ryan gets a lot of fire. Like when we're helping our clients and we're helping them grow and get better and be better people and have a better mindset and better business skills, we get so much fulfillment out. Like that's when we're pumped up. Like we get so much fire out of that. And I looked at him one day and I was like, why aren't we coaching? Like, why aren't we helping more people? Like we should be helping as many freaking people that will take it, because that's what I love to do. And that's what Ryan loves to do, is really helping people get to where they want. And that's where we get to go with it too. So we were like, title's title. We need to be like, we should be doing so much more.
That's when I knew, just early on, you know, you asked this earlier in the interview. When did I know, you know, she was part of my tribe, or when did I know that she was, you know, a real one? And when we were helping, I dragged her to every consult, like I said, for 3 months, you know, the trial period. And after a while, she saw what we did, that we got into their business, see what's working, see what's not working, notice trends, and then advise on what they could do activity-wise to get into action and execute, not just stay and wallow in theory, which gets us nowhere. And she started to light up. She started to come to life, and the fire was ignited. And that's when I knew, because she was helping me help people, lit her up, and there was contentment and fulfillment there. And I said, whoa, you can't teach that. That was in her.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Haylie.
Yeah.
Scoreboard. Yeah. Okay.
She's a badass.
This is the same question for both of you. Ryan, you go first.
Okay.
Grateful time. Who are you grateful for that you want to give a shout out on the podcast?
Oh, my awesome wife, Kelly, my 4 children. They support me. They're my inner circle, you know, and we just have the most fun together, and I bust my ass and leave everything on the field here so I can go and be with them and just be, you know, just enjoy life. It's a good life. It's a good life, and they make it good for me.
Just smart man. That's why you're still married.
I always tell them, I say, when I grow up, I want my family like yours. Like they genuinely like each other. They like spending time with each other.
He's like your life coach.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I get him for free.
Well, it ain't always been easy.
I was going to say, he actually has to pay me.
She's a master negotiator right there. I like her.
That's with Haylie.
Like, pay raise on camera.
Yeah, she's a cancer, man. She knows what's up.
Haylie, what are you grateful for?
Well, obviously one sitting here, but the ones off camera, like my parents, they have put a huge work ethic instilled in me. There's so many memories as a child where like, you know, I joined sports and I wanted to quit, and they're like, this is your commitment. You can't quit. Like you only stop when you quit. Like you only fail when you stop quitting or when you quit. So you're not going to quit. And both my parents were grinders. My dad was an iron worker. He was up at 3 a.m, home at 6 almost every night. And they really instilled into me that you have to help others, and they have to continue to work hard every day and show up. Like showing up is the most important. So my parents, if you're out there watching, thanks guys.
You did well, mom and dad. Mom and dad.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
She's a great daughter too. She really is. And a good friend. I'm grateful for you too, Haylie.
Thanks.
Speaking of showing up, I'm so grateful you guys showed up.
Oh my God.
So
this
we're going
is
to
so
drop your
fun.
handles.
Yes.
Did you have fun?
Oh my
This
God.
is so fun.
You
I
guys
love
come
this.
do this if you're invited. It is awesome.
Oh, he said the operative word, if you're invited.
Because this was so fun.
Yeah.
This
This
was
was
amazing.
awesome atmosphere. Great studio. Oh my God. I can't
I
wait.
mean, we got Susan behind the scenes. You guys can't see her, but she's great. She doesn't say too much.
No one knows about Susan unless they get invited.
Well, Steven ain't so bad either. Yeah.
Holy moly. Ryan Lipsey, Haylie Collier, Tycor, but we know they do so much more than title insurance. I can't thank you enough. We're going to talk offline. I do want to give a shout out to A Better Home Inspection.
Yeah.
Talk about 5-star experience. Danny Forrester, we appreciate you. Same thing. Zach Pitts, we appreciate you. Thank you guys for all the support. Thank you so much for joining us and Evolve Your Brand Podcast. We are out.
Thanks,
Tune in next
guys.
time.